Hello and welcome to another scene setting the living world of darkness rage across New York. As we set our sights back within the realm of Central Park, the Sept of the Green, the backyard of a certain pack, where a cross has been planted, a crucifix. It is the day of punishment of Forlorn judgment, where the Philodox are to issue their verdict regarding numerous incidents that have come to their attention. Jacob has requested for Eric to bring Forlorn to the area where the verdict is to be given, and Alana was requested to bring the mice that would serve as part of this punishment. And Balian is almost certainly putting those silver spikes along a whetstone as Jacob stands out in the open, waiting for the suspect to be brought before him and his colleague, Predator's Focus, as several other witnesses will no doubt arrive.
Yep, Eric will be in his large war form in Krenos. His hammer is actually resting on his shoulder, poised to bring it down upon the skull of Forlorn as he walks before him, making sure that he does not waver in his footsteps as he faces his due punishment. And it really does not take him too long to get there. He'll actually bring him before the judges post haste.
Forlorn steps in front of the judges, waiting for them to speak.
Truthcatcher, Thousand Whispers, has actually stood away from Jacob and Valian, leaning against a tree. Fairly inscrutable. Waiting for the crowd to arrive.
As stated before, as this is, I'm sure, close to the Silver Fang Salt Punch, sitting in his normal rocker with his ever-present cup of tea is Predator's Focus. And there's a whetstone that's currently the old-fashioned type with the wheel and everything's over there. There's a couple of kinfolk that are over there. They seem to be sharpening these 8-inch long engraved silver spikes while Balian supervises.
And Alona arrives, a few mice and rats following her. Saoirse's not far behind. She's got her satchel on. Very disappointed look on her face.
Saoirse sticks close to Alana at first, and then as they get to the area, she will go over to where there's likely a crowd forming. She'll stay close, but not too close.
Aiden Lynch swaggers on towards you. He has a 6-pack of beer with him, probably Tlate close to him, because he just seems to stand there waiting, rubbing his hands together and stretching out basically.
Yeah, Tatine is walking next to her packmate. She looks at the kind of cross-shaped thing. Clearly, there is like she's trying to hide it, but there is a look of discomfort and disapproval on her face. She's trying to keep as neutral as possible, but she doesn't agree with these traditions. They're not hers, and that shows. She stays close to, stays close to Aiden. Not like she's gonna, like, hold his hand or something, but she's close enough.
And Felix rolls up, spider satchel strap going across his chest as he crosses his arms and stands next to Aiden.
Aiden hands him a beer, just out of the bag and just hands it to him.
Oh, yeah, he takes it. Ooh, thank you.
You're gonna need it, lad.
Yeah.
As everyone seems to have gathered, Balian will finish his tea and hand it to a kinfolk and step down from the porch and join the other judges. As he does so, the kin that were sharpening the spikes will finish and place them back in their wooden box and hand them reverently towards Balian, who will take the box and hold it under his shoulder.
And as everyone arrives and Balian walks on over, Jacob will step forward before the accused. Forlorn judgment.
Yes, Raya.
After investigations regarding an incident that occurred on the 1st of April, and numerous evidence provided since then, you have been found guilty of disrespecting the territory of another, breaching the veil several times, and taking an action that causes a cairn to be violated.
He'll look down.
Your punishment is that will you be strung up across that device. The mice, the children of Great White Mouse, will take their share of you to repay the insult you have paid to our set totem. And Alcina Fierge, Alona, Binding Tempest, will apply a rite that will allow the spirits to take their due in addition to their physical children. You will be left up there until Great White Mouse deems this acceptable as payment. And then you will be sent on a quest to rescue other spirits, other children of Great White Mouse in Staten Island to re-earn not just the forgiveness of Great White Mouse, but her trust. You will suffer the right of the jackdaw and the right of satire. You will no longer retain your status as a Cleave. And you will be subject to all the restrictions that a cub is put under should you return and survive accomplishing your quest.
And he'll nod. Yes, Raya.
Do my colleagues have anything else they wish to add?
What is Forlorn's posture right now? And what form is he in?
In Hamid, probably. Yeah, he's probably in Hamid. He's standing in front of the judges, visibly ashamed.
Balian will walk over at where he's standing, and he will pick up a large 20-pound sledgehammer, kind of drop it on his shoulder, very John Henry-like.
Very
Look,
what, sorry?
John Henry, he was a railroad person who carried a hammer. Sorry.
Okay.
Forget, different countries don't always get those references. I apologize. And we'll state simply on your knees and change to your true form.
He'll nod. Yes, Raya. And he'll change into I was gonna say change into Metis. He'll change into Krenos.
With that, Balian will look towards the truth catcher and nod.
What was that?
Balian looked towards the truth catcher and nodded once you took the correct form in the air and the correct posture.
Once Forlorn changes to Krenos, Eric is going to kind of like give a growl that kind of rolls like thunder, and then he'll step away.
And the truth catcher will say, "Let's get on with this little theatre, shall we?"
With that, Balian will walk over, rise. He's not even looking at Forlorn when he says it.
He'll go towards the device.
All right, what they're talking about when they say a device, it's a cross, but it's not in the Christian sense. It's more like an X. It's created out of two wooden railroad ties.
Is it a St. Andrew's cross?
It is. A kinfolk will walk over with the wooden box and Balian will open the box and pull out a silver spike. He will look at Forlorn and say, "Place your hand here," and will point to one of the upper arms of the cross.
He'll place his hand where he said.
Okay. At that, Balian will turn around and he will raise the spike for all to see. And you can see that there's something engraved on it. And he will proclaim loudly, "Respect the territory of another." And he will turn around and he will take that 20-pound sledgehammer and he will hammer that spike right through Forlorn's hand, pinning it to the wood. Duncan, do you want rolls for this, or?
Not from you.
Okay.
However, what is Forlorn's rage?
3.
Okay, you're being publicly humiliated and now you're having silver shoved to your hand. Can I please have a rage roll? Take a point of rage for the public humiliation.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask Edrai Nothing. Because I have a 7 and I have a 1. 5, 1, 4, 7, so nothing.
Yep.
Unless it's difficulty lower.
I mean, you're in. Looking at, we're in a waning crescent, so it's diff 7 base. Well, diff 6 because you're in Krynos. But yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
All right. As that is hammered in, Bailey will take a moment to judge reaction from his charge. After it appears that it will not frenzy on him, he will smile almost sneeringly and will point to the other upper arm and say, "Place your other hand here."
He'll do it like pretty much as soon as he's told.
Okay. With that, he will raise a spike again. It is also engraved, and he will proclaim, "The veil shall not be lifted," and will again repeat and hammer that steel spike right through his other hand, pinning it to the other side of the cross.
Okay. Any rolls, Duncan?
Another rage roll, please.
Do I take another rage or I keep with
Yes,
the 4?
please. Wounded by silver.
Ooh, 2 successes.
Okay.
So yeah, he'll growl there, but doesn't quite get out of control.
With that, Bailey will sneer again. "Yes." We'll look down. "Place your heel here," and we'll point down to one of the bottom ones.
He'll do it.
All right. And he will raise another spike.
Rage roll.
Yes, please.
And
All silver.
as he does so,
1, 2,
he will
3,
claim. He will proclaim as he hammers this spike in, "Ye shall take no action that causes a cairn to be violated," and will slam her in.
He flinches, but manages to keep it all in control. Only 1 success there.
Okay. All right. And then the fourth one, again, he will point to the final remaining arm and will say, "Place your heel here."
And he'll do it. He'll do it.
Okay. The hammer will come out, and he will
Wait.
look at. I'm sorry. What?
No, sorry. My bad. I was
Okay.
talking
Wait.
out of character.
You're fine. Oh, I got you. Okay. And he will proclaim again, "The veil shall not be lifted." And that hammer will swing and drive that stake again through his. The ones on his legs are basically right above his feet, right above the joint where the ankle meets the foot, and then the ones in his arms are basically through his wrist.
Okay. On that last rage, he got 3 successes.
You're fine.
Okay. And then with that, Bailey will pause. We'll look at his work, look up and down. We'll look over towards the Truth Catcher and the eldest Theurge, or sorry, Philodox, and we'll nod and then walk back over and join them.
Jacob will walk up to Forlorn as he's literally hanging from this cross. We'll spend a single rage. You notice he's gone off and he's actually carrying 2 chains, one of which is attached to the roof of the cabin, Balian's cabin, and the other which is attached to a rather large metal pole. it's quite tense. You know, the chains are fairly well stretched out. As he will rage shift partially to give himself a Garou claws and pull open Forlorn's torso. But before they can regenerate, begins wrapping the chains around the ribcage and ties the chains to prevent them from regenerating. And he will walk away as leaving Forlorn not only crucified, but in a partially inverted blood eagle sort of position.
Okay. You're going to sense a theme here. Another rage roll, please.
Okay, I take a rage, I guess, too.
Take rage. Yeah, there's a load of silver. This is bad days. Yeah.
If only I was an Arun, that would be a lot of rage.
Okay.
I mean, you're rolling like a lot of dice. Right now. Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, do you want to spend a willpower?
Yes.
Not frenzy. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. And yeah, carry on.
Jacob will return this Forlorn this utterly disgusted, condescending stare, and will return to his colleagues. I see. I believe this is the part where the rights are issued.
Alana's just waiting for you to say so.
Yeah,
The
I
punishment
understand,
one,
but
yeah.
you need to do this bit first, and then the rites will occur.
Ah, right. Okay. Then he will nod towards Alana. Sorry, I got that mixed up. But yeah, he will nod towards Alana and say, Binding Tempest, you may proceed.
Very well. And she'll walk over, look up at Forlorn. For your crimes against the spirits of this sept, you're to be food for the living on the spirits. And she proceed to cast the rite of the spirit of the feast of the spirits
Mm-hmm.
on Forlorn. What's the rating of the gauntlet here?
The rating of the gauntlet in the half of the sept is 4.
I'm going to spend a willpower because this is important to her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 successes.
Okay. Yep.
The right goes off. And
Mhm.
come, Great White Mouse. Come, children of Great White Mouse. Partake of this offering, as I humbly ask of you. And she will... And she will step back.
And another rage roll, please. Because you're now
Right.
being fucking eaten and are realistically at the edge of incapacitated at this point.
Take a rage.
Yeah, take rage, roll rage.
There's 1, 2 successes.
3 successes, not frenzying.
If this wasn't a punishment, I'd be impressed.
Yeah. I thought that spending a willpower roll was risk because you can't spend willpower to avoid thralls. And And the at this point, Thousand Whispers will say, "You happy with your handiwork now?" Looking at Predator's Focus and Jacob.
Jacob will just kind of nod silently.
Predator's Focus will just, as he's cleaning the blood from his hands with a net bat rather quickly, he'll look up and say, I believe the lesson is in the process of being learned, Uriah.
Exactly, and as I'm presuming you did this bit, you didn't prepare the dance. That's fine. So, the right of the jackdaw first, if everyone wants to sit down, because this bit takes a while. And he's going to get out several pieces of wood and a knife. And start carving some symbols into some pieces of wood. And then going to say, turn to Forlorn and say, so I'm supposed to give you these as a gift. Do you mind if I tuck them behind your ear? You'll need to carry them round.
Go ahead, Uriah.
There we go. Huh. That's actually a fail.
Ha!
The spirits have judged that you are not worthy of this punishment. As in, that it's not required.
Interesting.
Yep. Because that's the straight up rules for what happens when you fail punishment rites. And it's like
looks like Forlorn's bird friends have talked to the mouse and be like, nah, he's cool.
Yeah, you no longer are going to say all of your embarrassing and shameful little secrets. And say, and now we will talk about the great hero of the Battle of the Cake. And out of his pocket, he takes a rolled up piece of card, or takes some card and sellotape, and he rolls it into what resembles a dunce's hat and puts it on Forlorn's head. He then takes out a few like party blower things. He passes them to the two Philodoxes.
Balian takes his.
Likewise.
Because, after all, you requested this be done, and it's supposed to be funny. And he blows his in a very half-hearted "Thurr!"
And Balian joins the trumpet fanfare.
Certainly satirical.
Oh, hail, great hero of the cake. Who, when threatened by the forces of the Great Fairy, on learning the frustration that the Great Fairy did not show up to the Sept without the world of the Elders, an point incidentally that would have violated the Sept in and of itself, such your fury that you did indeed take this cake, which you had been given in exchange for your sins for which you are being punished today. And you hunted down and struck and struck at the one who had tricked you. O greatest Ragabash, frustrated by tricksters. Does anyone have any dance move? And he turns around. Does anyone have any dance parts prepared? There is traditionally a dance part or a poem.
As I Google search haikus.
He will turn to Balian.
Balian will look up, and then you kind of see his eyes roll up into his head for a second, like he's thinking, and he will say loudly, "Haiku fanatics, stifling creativity, laying down the law."
Jake almost gestures as to say, there you have it.
So, daft bugger. No one has danced for you.
We can dance for you. On Saoirse.
Yeah, Saoirse gets up.
Congratulations, do a silly dance.
Saoirse starts to do the chicken dance. And she'll even hum the tune.
And Alana will dance with her, doing the chicken dance. I don't want to be a chicken, I don't want to be a duck, I just want to shake my butt.
I will take a rage.
I will take her as Zane shakes his head and spitting on the ground.
Are you proud of yourself, Forlorn Judgement, who have made people dance the chicken dance in this most sacred of Gaia's places?
He'll look down and he'll shake his head. No, as he left it. He doesn't speak to you, he just shakes his head no.
Good. Now, keep being eaten until Great Brad Mouse is full of you, daft bugger. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. So yes, your renown is reduced because you're a Cleath. Your renown is effectively reduced to 0, and you are a cub.
And would you pronounce him a cub? Banshee, who is standing on the porch, howls out what is now on the subpage. As a mark of shame for his recent deeds and failure to uphold the litany, the medicine is currently Forlorn Judge, is henceforth stripped of his deed name I give him previously. He will now only be known as Lesson to Others. May he learn from his own shame and shortcomings, and may his failure be an example to those who can do better. With that, as it's basically the ending, Balian will walk over to his porch, pick up his teacup, which has been refilled, and will start rocking, watching the cross.
Jacob will nod to the truth catcher and say, "Thank you, I appreciate your service."
I'm here to facilitate justice and apparently a silly dance.
Apparently. Jacob will step forward in front of the crowd and scabbard. I don't need to tell any of you why this happened. All of you already know. And you all of you, if you know me well at all, that I am not the sort of person to go through something like this. And to put through something like this. I put someone through something like this. But as much as one may question and joke about our laws, they're not, in fact, a joke. And as much as it pains me to have to deliver justice in such a fashion, this is the consequence of putting an entire sept at risk numerous times over and betraying our sept totem. And I hope we can earn her forgiveness. I thank you for your time in coming here today. And he kind of gives something of a curt bow. Waits for people to respond. It's more like a nod, really.
Aiden claps his hand. You know, looks at the others and nods at face to do the same. Staring at Forlorn.
Just remember, this is the standard you are held to. We are Garou, not animals. There are no excuses. And he'll kind of begin to walk around the crowd, almost, towards Balian. And we'll share some tea with him. And look upon his work. And upon the crowd, who appears intent at gawking.
And as if it were Sunday afternoon and nothing else had ever happened in the last half hour, Balian will look over towards the truth catcher and say, "Tea, Raya."
Yes, why not? I'm going to have to be here for a while.
And the kinfolk will rush out with 2 more cups and saucers and pour 2 more cups of tea for the truth catcher and for Jacob.
Jacob will thank the kinfolk.
And unless anyone else wants to do anything.
Nope.
Then, yes, probably best time to end scene.
Indeed we shall. Thank you, all the players that have come to this scene. Thank you, Duncan, for STing. And thank you, watchers, for watching. We hope to see you next time.